US President Donald Trump says sanctions against Zimbabwe will stay in place despite the changes in government in that country. The decision was announced in a letter to Congress.
President Trump's letter notes the November 2017 change in government after former President Robert Mugabe's resignation, saying it offered an extraordinary opportunity for Zimbabwe to set itself on a new path that could allow for re-engagement with Washington. But like several United States senators who held a hearing on Zimbabwe late last year, the Trump administration remains skeptical.
Zimbabwe has a new president, but the critical questions of whether the new government reflects material change from Mugabe's decades of rule and what path Zimbabwe is likely to take under President Mnangagwa, these are things still left unsettled. He'd been closely allied with President Mugabe since Mugabe's rise to power. He stands accused of orchestrating a string of massacres in the early 1980s to consolidate Mugabe's power, leaving as many as 20,000 people dead in Matabeleland.
Importantly,
a view shared by colleagues across the aisle.
I'm concerned that despite the promises made by President Mnangagwa to rooting out corruption, to having free and fair elections, and to overseeing an inclusive government, there is simply not yet enough proof that this regime will be any different than the one before.
President Trump has called for concrete actions on the political and economic front by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who will mark 100 days in office on Tuesday.
You don't build Rome within 100 days, but within 100 days, you should be able to set a foundation for a clear strategy for turning around the economy, resuscitating the economy, rebuilding the economy. And regrettably, with Emmerson Mnangagwa, he has failed and failed absolutely to set and put a fingerprint, a footprint in the economy. And part of his problem was that he actually did not have a plan. He actually did not have a strategy.
The United States president says that in response to persisting threats on these fronts, he has determined that it's necessary to continue to maintain the punitive measures. Mnangagwa, some army generals and other top officials are all targeted by measures for alleged human rights abuses and previous election rigging. Shervin Bryceby's SABC News, New York.